If you're trying to conceive or newly pregnant, stop scrolling. These are the 5 truths I wish I knew and no one really talks about. Hello besties, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Laura and today I'll be sharing with you the 5 truths I wish I knew before I found that I was pregnant, and no one really talks about them in their severity. Yeah, they touch on them, but not like in their severity. So let's just dive right into the video. My first point for today is the emotional roller coaster aspect of this journey. So first thing you should know is this journey, it is an emotional roller coaster, full of so many emotions. There's so many hormones at play. There are times where you're moody, you're happy, and all of that. And for every month that you keep hoping to see that positive, and for every negative test that you get, hurts deeper than the last. Because for me, in the same month that I actually found that I was pregnant, I got 3 negative tests. Yes, I mentioned that in my previous video, so don't give up, right? I did 2 strip tests and 1 blood test. For the strip tests, when you do strip tests and they come back negative, you have some reservations that okay, they could be false negatives, right? But then when you do a blood test and it comes back negative, you're almost certain that yes, this is the result, right? So at that point, it was like hell was loose. I felt so emotional, so bad. I was not just myself, until I had to do the test again, and that was when I got my big fat positive. So do not give up. You might get a negative this time, and then the next moment you're testing, it will turn out to be a positive test. Because it happened for me. I got 3 negative tests in the same month that I found out that I was pregnant. So my dear sis, just keep hoping. Don't give up, and trust in the process, trust God and all of that. And also pregnancy doesn't always feel joyful and magical. That is another point. You hear some people say, oh, pregnancy is this, when you're pregnant it's so magical, it's blah blah. No, pregnancy doesn't always feel magical. It doesn't always feel joyful. You're not always it's not every time you're excited about it. Because for me, for some days I cried. And I didn't cry out of happiness or excitement. I cried mostly out of fear. Yeah. That is like a long story, and if I go into that, this video is going to be like so long. But I just want to let you know that pregnancy is not always, it doesn't always feel joyful or magical, or you always feel this excitement like every single day of the journey. No, it doesn't happen like that. We have to be realistic. There are days where you're just sad, and it's okay, it's totally fine. And that brings me to my next point, which is you might feel guilty that you're not enjoying the journey, and that is totally okay too. That is fine, because it also happened to me, and I'll be asking myself, like, this is like what women are literally praying for out there. So why am I not happy? Why am I not enjoying this journey? But there are just some things that you can't control. Like I said, there are a lot of hormones at play here. There's a lot happening in your mind. Your mindset changes, your emotion changes even more during the course of pregnancy. So it's okay to feel guilty when you're not enjoying. It's okay to feel guilty for not enjoying the journey. That's okay. It'll pass. It doesn't mean that you're not a great mom, or you don't appreciate the journey or stuff like that. The most important thing is for you not to dwell. it's for you not to dwell in that particular state of mind. It happens. I'm just let you know that it happens and it's okay, but do not dwell on it. All right. And that also brings me to another point where affected me, because your body changes so fast, and not just your body, your mind changes too, because now you're thinking about the little human growing inside of you. You're thinking how best to take care of this baby, to bring them to term. So there's a lot that goes on in your mind, in your emotions. Everything about you changes. And I remember talking to my husband one time, and I'm like, I don't understand what's going on with me. There are just some things that I noticed in my body that at some point I actually felt shy about. But he just kept reassuring me. So there are times where I didn't even recognize myself, and those were the times I would complain and say, I don't understand what is going on. Why is this like this? Why is this like that? And he would just look at me and tell me, calm down, you're beautiful. He would reassure me and all of that. And this would bring me to my last and final point for today, which is your support system. Support system is everything. Support is everything, sis. And if you don't have it, that's when you will feel the loneliness even more than ever. The loneliness will be so deafening, and you're wondering what's going on. Like I mentioned in my previous video, it's really important to have like a support system. So be it your spouse, be it your family, be it your friends, even an online app. Yes. And also your church. I got support from my spouse, of course. I got support from my family. My dad literally calls me every single day. And that was like the surprising part of it. Like, my dad, there's no single day that passes that he doesn't call to check up on me. And I'm like, okay. Even though my mom calls me, but it's weird. Okay, I don't know if weird is the right word, yeah, but it's just somehow when it's my dad that's always calling and checking and all of that, and most of the times I just laugh. And even my mom, she'll be like, the way your dad has carried this whole thing on his head, I don't understand. It's really, really funny. So this is just to let you know that having a support system is really, really crucial and important. So I don't want this video to be so long, like I always say, but yeah, this is where I'll be drawing the curtains for today. So let me know in the comments, what's the one thing that you wish you knew before you got pregnant, or what are you still curious about? Drop it in the comments, because I like to reply to every comment. I want to connect with you. I want to hear your story and all of that. So if you're on your own journey, or you're still trying, you're expecting, or just dreaming, just know that you're not alone, okay? Know that you're not alone. We're all in this together. So if no one told you this, I will tell you, you are doing better than you think. You are stronger than you think, and in due time you will share your testimony. So you are actually really, really, really better. Like, you're doing better than you think. So subscribe for more honest mama talk, and I will see you in my next video. Love you guys.